Thank you for joining us wherever you are. This podcast episode is brought to you by the Old Ways Actual Play team. This actual play uses the 7th edition Call of Cthulhu tabletop role-playing game rules by Chaosium. This actual play is performed by adults and in an adult setting. While we try very hard to stick to languages for all ages, listeners should know that this podcast may include mature themes. All content, including names, places, events, companies, and etc., that may bear resemblance to entities living or dead, is strictly coincidental. My name is Michael Dent, and for tonight's game, I will be your keeper. Thank you for joining us again on another episode of the Old Ways podcast. I am your keeper, Keeper Michael. We return to Masks of Nyarlathotep in our Paris vacation series. We have a very interesting little investigation to go on tonight, perhaps somewhere dark and dank and maybe a bit stinky. No, it's not my sock drawer. It is, in fact, the Paris Warrens. But before any of that, let's get through introductions. So, to my right.
This is Tiffany, and I play Maeve O'Shea, and I do neat stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say so. Some other people might not think that way, but everybody can have their opinion. They can be wrong. To her right.
This is Morgan. I play Lillian Lane, and the play we went and saw really wasn't what I thought it was going to be. But then again, it really was.
You know, I think artistic styles change over time. Paris is known for being groundbreaking. Perhaps that play will be shown again someday.
This is Jake. I'm playing Jack Doyle, and that play was so good it just melts your face off.
You had to work it in, didn't you?
I did.
Okay.
I did. I couldn't help it.
I understand. To Jack's right.
This is James, and I'll be playing Dr. Sigmund Tattenbach. And while I am finding this ghoul hunt to be novel, I hope we can leave this war in peace.
Jeez.
Wow, that was bad. I applaud you, sir. Thank you.
So, in an attempt to recover, last but most certainly not least.
This is Alex. I'll be playing Sam Beron, and regarding things being melted, I think Jack might be able to help me figure out where to get a flamethrower.
Interesting. So we raise the curtain tonight back at the hotel. What we will say is the investigative team has collected themselves. They have had breakfast. They are preparing to leave the hotel at a specific time that morning. And so we'll kind of truncate that a little bit. We will assume a few things, that they are still using many pieces of the equipment that they had last night, torches, etc. People are still equipped and prepared, and they're going to go out and investigate the Warren more fully today.
And I'm bringing my shotgun.
How are you planning on getting it out of the hotel?
I'm going to use some doctor's bag and slip it out in the doctor's bag because it's a sawed-off.
So the doctor's bag is probably not going to be big enough to hold a sawed-off shotgun. That said, though, you are a very enterprising and smart individual, and so you could probably find a bit of clothesline, maybe, and you might be able to wrap that clothesline around the handle there, the sawed-off handle, and then just make a loop out of it and put it on your shoulder, and then put the coat over it.
Yeah.
That'd at least work.
Yeah. I'm getting it out of there because I'm going to shoot somebody with it.
I had a flare gun with my stuff. I will be bringing that with as well.
Are there people that like have shotguns that are afraid to bring them outside?
Yeah, we just tend not to walk around the streets of Paris with shotguns.
Well, yeah, and the hotel is going to look at us weird if we have a
Well,
shotgun.
right,
Weirder.
but I mean, I can load a duffel, right? How many shotguns can I fit in a duffel?
Sawed-offs?
Like a few.
Probably 4. I mean, if you're really enterprising.
Because Lillian has a shotgun, right?
She does.
I do. It's not sawed off, though. And it's in the bottom of the...
It's like
we
taking
can
it apart.
Get it
The
out.
curse.
yeah,
trunk.
it's in
We'll
the
dig
curse
that
trunk,
out.
and it is taken apart.
Okay, so you're gonna like just disassemble her and put her in the put it in the box in the bag.
Well, no, I'm
etc.
not putting the shotgun in. I mean, I'll assemble the shotgun. It'll probably fit in a duffel, or at least break it in half.
Yeah, I mean, you could easily just take, because the shotgun's probably... Lillian, is your shotgun pump or is it double-barreled?
Oh, I have a list. It just says 20 gauge shotgun.
So it's probably pump. So
Yeah.
all you do is just you'd open up the screw above the... You open up the screw and basically just take the barrel off. It'd be the easiest way to do it.
I mean, my character would know how to do it. I don't know how to do it. I will defer. I will defer to his expertise with these weapons. Yeah, anybody, I will make it known. If I'll basically have the bag out if we're throwing stuff in. I'll make it obvious that I'm planning on smuggling a bunch of stuff outside.
Okay.
Do we want to bring dynamite?
Maybe we could.
And we're just
We
got
could
the
blow the
weapons that we're
entrance.
trying to, dynamite, not dynamite.
I mean, that might fit in.
No dynamite.
Okay.
Down in the catacombs, I think, yeah.
Maybe just one.
We don't need a cave in.
I'm on Sam's side with this. I think we at least bring one stick of dynamite.
I mean, what could it hurt?
It's not going to hurt anything.
It's totally gonna hurt.
Paris already fell once, right? I can't fall again.
I'd rather have a stick of dynamite and not need it than need one and not have it.
Okay, so you're bringing one with?
Yeah.
Okay. Sam, you get the shotguns loaded, and then the one broke down so that way it can go. You can easily fit the back corner of the duffel kind of under a coat, and to conceal any bulges. And then you all make your way out of the hotel.
Slide out.
On the way, I stop somewhere, some little shop, and I buy 2 balls of yarn.
Give me a spot hidden roll, James.
That is good lord, that is a 93 over 80.
So the answer is no.
No.
Over 80. Would you like to push that?
Yeah, why not? Let's have some fun. Doc, how is he pushing it? He is...
It's a visual cue.
It's a visual cue, so he is taking off his glasses and polishing them and
Sure.
pushing them up his nose while he's examining something else while shopping. And,
Go for it.
all right, 56 under 80.
Very good. A paper catches your eye, Doctor.
Like a newspaper?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Grab it up and drop a franc on the clink.
There's an article. It's written in German. It looks like it was dated yesterday. And it makes you shiver. It looks like in Munich there was a meeting of the NSDAP, and they had a 3,000 member meeting to commemorate the restructurization of the party under the lead speaker, a man named Adolf Hitler, who had been barred from any political offices after he was put in jail. But it seems the legal system has removed such requirements or such issues after his prison sentence, and the party's put him in full control.
I assume that there are other newspapers that have complimentary stories to this as well around here.
Actually, the French press is ignoring it.
Completely ignoring it. This is because it's a German press.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, he buys a copy of that, and he is very quiet for the rest of the day. Doc is unusually quiet and a little worried.
So you all head towards the Warren. During the open market air this late February day, it's bustling. But yet again, this alley seems to be uninteresting. Doesn't seem like anyone here is really giving it any thought. It's a fairly cramped alley altogether, but it's not impossible for you to make your way down. So I guess what I need to know is, if you're making your way in deeper to the alleyway to reach the entrance of this Warren, who's going first and how are you going?
I'll go first.
Yeah, Jack's going to go first, and then he'll report back to us once it's done.
I will give Lillian back her shotgun. And
Thanks.
did Jack manage to get his own out?
Yeah.
It seems like he's crafted something of his own.
Okay, and there were no others, right?
No.
All right, I will sling my rifle, I guess, and follow Jack if Jack's in front.
So who's pulling up the caboose on this thing?
Me.
Actually, I will go behind her, because if she needs to do the finger wavy nonsense, she's going to need someone to make sure she doesn't get poked in the face while it's happening. Or someone to poke her in the face while it's happening.
Clearly. Jack, you headed down into this Warren, And then you can see, just at the end of the alley where it tees, you can see that there's some sort of hole that's been dug into the earth here. It looks like at one point it was part of maybe the part of the sewer system, maybe a disused part of it. You don't smell any, direct sewage, but you smell basically what the inside of a Parisian sanitation system, which was once used as a sewer, smells like. It's not pleasant. It's not the worst smell you've smelled in France, for that matter. But, yeah, it's going to take you a little adjusting to get used to.
All right. Got my torch, got my shotgun. Let's go.
Okay. You head down. You have to crouch. It's not tall enough for you to get to your full height. So you're a bit hunched over. Realistically, anybody over 5.5 feet is going to have to crunch down a little bit.
So Lillian's okay.
I think I'm pretty short.
I mean, I would imagine most of you would. For those of you in the front, you see an awful lot of evidence of movement here. You see a lot of strange tracks on the ground and scratches along the walls. Sam, you're fairly certain that some of these scratches are, whatever creatures are down here are, they likely sharpen them against some of the pipework before they leave.
That makes sense. Is there any evidence of anything being dragged through here?
Yes, absolutely. Probably anything between 50 to maybe 85 kilograms worth of weight. So likely people.
Okay.
Continue on. Are you adhering to what Guillaume had mentioned? The desire to pick a specific direction and continue in that way? Okay. Torch is out, I would assume, given it's not light.
Yep. And I'm unraveling yarn.
You begin unraveling yarn, like some wonderful Greek mythological tale. So, probably for the first 30 or 40 feet, it's a really touch and go. And that's mostly because even with torches, even with daylight coming through a bit through this hole, it is an alien world that exists down here. Everything smells and sounds differently. Lillian, more than once when you reach out for something to steady yourself against, your hand recoils and either goes to one of your compatriots because you don't like the film that's now on your fingers. You don't know what it is.
Is the pathway wide enough for Sam and I to walk side by side with each other, or is it too narrow that I have to be behind him?
No, the two of you could walk side by side. You're fairly smaller in stature.
And it's still pretty dark down there.
Even with the torches, it's dark, yeah.
So I'm behind Jack and I grab his coat for something to steady myself on and, reach out for Sam as I need to.
Jack, you likely get a bunch of grime on the back of your coat, but that's fine.
Sorry.
It's fine.
I will give her a reassuring pat.
As we venture in, Duck kind of half grins over at Maeve. Don't say I never take you anywhere, darling.
Oh, this is wonderful.
As you continue through the Warren, you pass through what can only be described as a boneyard. There are a significant amount of bones in some of these hallways. Why don't you give me a medicine roll, Doctor?
Yes. Crouch down amongst the bones. That is a medicine in the darkness here. That is a 73 under 82.
These are likely a bit older. Some of these are definitely animal. Probably either dog, possibly bovine, which would kind of link up with some of the other things that you experienced already here. But the disturbing one that you come to is likely a series of finger bones. These are human, certainly.
Are they, can I tell rough age?
Oh, probably a good 15 or 20 years old.
Okay. I'm not seeing any children here yet. I mean, kinder, but I am seeing, but I'm thinking perhaps these were the easy foods to find. This was the easiest. I think we go further in, we will find worse things. Onward?
Onward.
So what's the plan when we find Henry?
We have a chat?
Yeah, I'm going to give it a chat. Both barrels.
Yeah, I am with Jack on this one. If Henri was an animal, then it could be forgiven for its savagery. But if it is intelligent, then it knows what it's doing.
Right.
You continue forward. Why don't you all give me listen rolls?
That's going to be a no.
And report one at a time if you would.
96 over 42.
Very good.
57 out of 20.
Okay.
54 out of 79.
49 under 68.
Very good. Sam?
67 over 63.
Okay. So, Miss Lane, you hear it first. And what you hear sounds like a crunching sound. It's different than the almost clinking sound that stepping on bones makes. This is more of a directed force to break something. It almost sounds like one of your smashing parties when the staff is making a beautiful dish of celery.
Which way is the sound coming from? I'm assuming directly in front of us?
Directly in front of you.
Does it sound like bone crunching or?
Maybe. Sigmund, you start hearing the same sort of thing, but you're not sure if it's coming in front of you or behind you.
I lean forward to Jack and whisper, do you hear that?
No.
It sounds like something is crunching, like...
Okay, you're going to check behind you?
Yeah. Very carefully. I got a 4 on a spot hidden.
Fantastic.
That is an extreme success, sir.
You turn around and look, and maybe your eyes were playing tricks on you at first, and maybe there's something there, but then after a moment when you let your eyes set for a second and reset based off of the lack of torch light, the path behind you is clear.
We are fine back here, Jack.
All right. Continue moving on.
Your lights kind of trace their way over the continuing portions of the tunnel, and it moves right now. This must be that spot that Guillaume was talking about where you'll make a right and then kind of go around, which will eventually become a left.
Mm-hmm.
You do that, and then you see a few streams of sunlight coming down through this area ahead of you and kind of illuminates a portion here. It's the rods of sunlight are no more than, a $50 or so around, but you get a little bit of light. And in that little bit of light, a mass of green flesh scampers away at a high rate of speed.
Are ghouls known to be green?
Some, maybe.
Well, I don't think we see any green ghouls. I don't know, maybe there's different types.
Well, didn't the girl, she looked pretty human, but was still a ghoul. So they can probably be a variety of sizes, shapes, and colors.
Are you going to continue forward?
Yep.
As you get around to this place where the light comes in at, you can see that there's something up there. There's some sort of structure, some sort of location. It's a definitive building. It's not just a street.
Like a basement or something.
Maybe a courtyard. There's definitely, you can hear voices up there. You'd have to get closer to see and hear better.
Like farther in the room, or I have to get up to like the ceiling?
You'd have to hoist yourself up a little bit.
I don't know if I want to do that.
There are definitive voices, and people moving around up there. It's just, I guess I will give it to Lillian because she speaks fluent French.
Him.
It sounds like there are... Oh, fair enough. Sam as well. It sounds like a hospital.
Oh, that would make sense. I relay that to the group. That sounds like there's a hospital above us.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I wonder. That's how he's getting so many
Right.
bodies.
Most likely. Or at least leftover.
Well, if they're sick and stuff, nobody's gonna notice that they're. I mean,
Somebody will notice.
they'll notice, but
You make a very long, sweeping right.
Mm-hmm.
And as you do, you come to a massive break in the floor, like the ground here. This kind of sanitation area has a big, wide break in it. It looks like the ground has become completely unsettled here.
he didn't tell us about that.
He did not.
Hmm.
It looks like it goes down, like further down, as if it drops to a different level.
Are we able to make it over that, or is it too wide?
It's not that you can't make it over. You could. It's just that it's a dead end.
Oh.
It doesn't go anywhere.
So we have to go down and to the left, like he said down and to the
Well,
left.
he said to
right?
the left,
Well,
right?
yeah, he did
did
say
not
the
mention going down at all.
Right. Is there a way left here?
Mm-mm. No.
Well, I guess
This
we're
is
gonna
where
have
the
to go down.
this is where the path goes. Sam, I would probably say at this point your hackles are up. At this point, you don't like the idea of any of this.
Well, he did say that it was where this area met up with the old catacombs, so it would make sense to go down.
Right. I mean, it broke through somewhere, and he doesn't even think about going down.
How far down is it?
2 meters.
That's not bad.
I mean, it's sloped. It's not a direct drop, but
It's not like there's another way.
that is very true.
Is there a way left? Can I see shining the light around down there?
You shine the torchlight down in there, and you kind of sweep it around a little bit, and it looks like there is a left that goes after you're down. So maybe he just doesn't think of the elevation change.
Yeah. I guess we're going to find out.
Okay. You head further down, deeper below Paris, and the walls here begin to be made of something far different than you're expecting. Bones begin making up the walls. Skulls.
It looks like the catacombs.
It does. It doesn't look like the place has been kept. So the catacombs of Paris they're upkept, at least in sections that allow people to walk in, right? This doesn't look like that at all. This looks like pre-catacombs Paris, like just people dumping dead bones. And the smell in here now is much more distinctive. It's much more fetid. It's sweaty and sticky down here as far as the air.
You know, our adventures take us to all the nicest places.
Mm-hmm. I put my scarf on.
You continue forward, ever making some preparations, and Miss Asher, you start feeling something like in your body, like in your bones. You start feeling your pulse start to jump. There's something here in the area it's got that tinge of magic. There's something has been created or cast here recently. It's hard to tell what it is, but there's an energy in the air for sure.
He may know some magic.
Marvelous.
Well, that would make sense. If you managed to create something that...
Right. It's possible there's maybe other creatures that maybe gave him access to that.
So, in the pathway forward, there is a narrowing just a bit. And your torchlight begins scanning an area that's much larger beyond that. It probably narrows for 3 or 4 feet. And then it looks like whatever's coming has been dug out wide. And you start seeing little phosphorescent plant life along the opening here. And you start seeing heavy track marks in the ground. Especially you, Sam, because you've identified them before. Things have been drugged through here. You get to the opening in this tunnel that gets larger, and you see that the while the height of the ceiling doesn't change, it's still around that 5.5 or so feet height. The area here is much wider. It's been dug out. And there is an area far to the upper right of this room that looks like it's a series of shallow graves. There's probably 6 or 8 of them along the far wall there. And there seems to be corpses that have been lined up to rest on top of the dirt. It looks like they're marked out to be put in. But these are, well, Doctor, they're fairly fresh people.
Examine the size of the bones.
You'd have to go all the way over to there. If that's what you're doing, just let me know.
Yes, that is what I'm doing. Instantly attracted to the corpses.
Jack, so he passes by you and goes to the far end of this. The space is probably about 30 or so feet, right? And he passes by you, and as he does, you can tell that there's something, there's a space beyond these bodies. This tunnel doesn't stop. It keeps going.
So you have to touch everything.
These people likely died within the past week. No medicine roll required. You can tell the rigor having set in.
Can I tell their rough age by the amount of cartilage that has become bone on the joint?
Oh, yeah. It's not difficult for you to I mean, within a week, it's not difficult for you to tell the age of the corpses here. They're probably between 35 or so and, say, 70. There's a, in particular, there's an older man here, probably your father's age, who appears to have been gutted like a fish. And it looks like whatever rent his stomach open kind of used, you can only imagine, its claws to kind of pilfer the lower half of his abdomen and the upper half of his waist, perhaps as a light snack.
This is all quite fresh, Jack. No more than a week. Or less. These are adults.
Were they killed by?
Visceration is what it looks like. I mean, they are so badly chewed upon that I cannot tell cause of death from, but I do know that they have been badly mangled, and there are many parts missing.
You hear a deep growl from the far room. It's angry and animalistic. Kind of echoes off the stonework in here.
Henry?
I get my back to a wall.
You hear another growl and another. And then scampering starts on the floor.
We're here for Henry. We don't want to fight any of you.
From that tunnel nearest to you, Doctor, 3 sets of eyes appear and then begin clambering towards you. Attached to said eyes are faces, snouts, and bodies. As a ghoul pack arrives, hungry. So, what I'd like to do is get a rough idea. Now, Sam put his back to a wall. We know that. We know roughly that Miss O'Shea is probably still in the farther portions of the area to not put herself too close. And we know, roughly speaking, that last one left, Sam and Lillian, they were kind of sort of hanging out by one another. So you're fairly close to this portion of the wall. What I want to know is, Lillian, given your dex, since you'll go first, what would you be doing as these 3 ghouls begin descending on the Doctor?
Sorry. So in the scheme of the room, mine and Sam's backs are up by the wall towards the far end of the room.
Yeah. So if
we're on the.
So if you were looking from your position, about 20 feet and to your right, ahead of you are the shallow graves with these bodies. That's where the Doctor is. You and Sam were still kind of sort of at the entrance of the room with Jack, and Sam has stepped back to put his back against the wall. So you're a little bit in front of him, but not too terribly far. You could easily take that simple step back as well and just make sure nothing can come up from behind you. But given that you have a weapon in your hand, you would have the ability to potentially help defend the doctor from what's coming to him.
Right. Do I have a clean shot at the ghoul that's in the front? I mean, are they being aggressive towards the doctor?
It appears, anyway, from your perception of things,
okay,
that they are looking to do the doctor harm.
Do I have a clean shot to one of them? Like, how close will they be to the doctor if I shoot them?
What's your rifle skill?
My rifle skill is 65.
Yeah, you think you have a clean shot.
Okay.
Could I take a free action to just lay down?
Yeah, I was going to say, last time she thought she had a clean shot, too.
I was gonna yell at him to duck. I don't know if he can do if he's allowed to move then and duck.
Yeah, sure, I'll give it to him.
Okay.
If you'd like to duck, Doctor, be my duck.
So I yell at him,
or drop.
Doctor, duck, and
No, Dr. Tartenbach. Yes, I get down on the floor.
I got an 83 out of 65.
As it happens, the Hand of Fate is going to allow you to reroll that.
Thank you. Nice Patreon person. I have a 44 out of 65.
Very good. Roll damage. Now, they're about 20 or so yards, so that should be 2d6 for the shotgun.
I get a 6.
Okay. You fire off the gun. Everybody around you, quite obviously, hears a shotgun go off. It is a little bit unnerving, but at least it's not being fired at you. And you definitely wound one of them.
Great.
Lillian's dex is what, 90?
Yes.
So with a gun in hand, it's 140. Who's under 90 next? You're fairly fast, Miss O'Shea.
I have a 65.
Okay, and then Sam, what are you at?
75 plus rifle.
Right, sure. Okay, so
I'm 60 plus shotgun.
it's definitely Sam next.
Well, I feel like Miss Lane has kind of smoothed over the decision-making process for me.
Yeah.
What is the response from the target that she wounded?
It is ravenous, and it does not appear to be slowing. I mean, it took a fairly good shot from her. She lined up fairly well.
Okay.
But it's continuing forward with its two brethren.
I'm going to attempt to slow its progress even further.
Fair enough.
With a 38 out of 70 with the Lee Enfield.
Ooh, yes. We all like a good rifle roll. So go ahead.
12.
Very good. You line up the Enfield with using a little bit of the light that Jack's torch gives, and you line up the Enfield with a center mass shot, and you drop this ghoul. And it falls. Jack?
I will take a few steps forward to cover the doctor.
Okay.
And blow away one of these. Take 2 shots because I have 2.
It's as if I never said anything.
Hey, you know what? It's too late now. What's done is done.
Okay, so
That's 48 under 56 for the shotgun.
48 under 56?
Yep.
Okay.
And then we roll the next one.
You might as well.
And that's 31 under 56.
Okay, so it's 2d6 each time because of the range.
All right, that's 7. And that's 7 plus 8 is 15.
Okay, same target, different target.
Same target.
Okay, so right or left?
Right.
Okay, there's a single ghoul left. Miss O'Shea.
There's only one ghoul? I thought we heard more.
You did. There were 3. They've killed 2.
I'm going to step forward and use the acoustics of the room and yell, stop.
Okay. So spend your magic and then make a power roll. Opposed. Ooh.
81 out of 83.
Yeah, he rolled a 12. So this thing keeps going. You hear that all of you hear that same loud, echoey stop that comes out of Maeve's mouth. But this thing doesn't halt. Doctor?
Well, I am lousy with a gun and not carrying one anyway, but I'm fairly handy with the ever-present cane that I have in hand, so I am essentially going to do a melee attack to it.
Okay.
Grab the other end of my cane, sits down by my leg, and swing upward with the handle.
Fair enough.
So,
that is a brawl roll.
37 under 70.
Okay. It is going to choose to fight back. Yeah, you hit. Feel free.
1d6, I believe. No sword, just cane. 5.
You uppercut with the cane as hard as you can, and you can hear a crunch as this thing takes the impact of the handle of that cane to the lower part of its chin. That said, it's action, and it is going to try to reach out and with that same wounded mouth bite down on you.
That's what I do.
So you may dodge if you'd like, or fight back depending upon your desires.
I'm going to fight back, actually.
Okay.
That is a 70 under 70.
Okay. I have a hard success.
Okay, poopy.
And so what you see and feel are something that kind of disconnects you a little bit from reality. And so you swing to try to keep this thing from getting its mouth on you, and it extends its neck out in almost a unreal distance, like a few more inches than you think it should, and it distends this mighty yet bruised jaw, and it clamps down on your shoulder and bites down hard.
I hate every part of that.
Yeah. Now I can imagine that you would.
Yeah.
So it is going to deal you 5 damage to your shoulder. You hear a sickening crunch from your shoulder blade. Pain lances through your right arm, and
Oh, that's broken.
you realize something in the moment. It isn't letting go. All right, top of the round.
I see that obviously the doctor is getting bit by
He's
the
getting
school.
brutalized, yes.
In my mind, seeing that he gets bit, knowing what I know of ghouls, that's not going to turn him into a ghoul, is it?
You don't think so? Well, maybe. You're not really sure. Hey, how are ghouls made? These are the thoughts that race through your head.
How many steps am I away from him?
Probably 5 at most, if you want to get up close and personal.
Am I allowed to take 2 actions, like step forward and shoot the ghoul?
You have the movement action, absolutely.
But I don't want to shoot the ghoul with the shotgun because he's really close to the doctor. Unless I can point blank.
Sure.
Can I point blank shoot?
Yes.
Okay.
You can easily get up behind
Yeah.
or get to the side of this ghoul and put the shotgun point blank and fire. And you'd be at advantage automatically as you'd be point blank.
Okay. I want to do that.
Okay.
Run up, raise my shotgun, and I get a 16
Okay.
out of 65. So I roll my damage.
You do.
I get a 9.
It goes off again. Doctor, you're probably fairly deafened at this point.
Oh, yeah. Bunch of shotguns going off around you.
In a stone tunneled out area, yeah. Okay. This ghoul takes the shotgun blast and doesn't let go of the doctor. Sam?
Once again, I feel like we have connected on a spiritual plane, and Lillian has once again read my mind. I will also flank the ghoul and take my shot from the other side.
Okay.
And I say, Henry, you say I get advantage, right? Point blank.
Yeah, if point blank, it's advantage. So
Give me that extreme success. That 12 over 70.
So it's max damage for the Enfield.
So 2d6 plus 4. That's 16.
So Lillian, you were on the left side. The doctor's in the center. You come up to the left side and you give this ghoul everything you have from the shotgun. And it seems like almost as if Sam comes up on the other side, and for the moment you didn't know if it was Sam or not. And when he comes up on the right side, he levels a rifle and fires, and the ghoul's head pancakes. The problem here for you, Doctor, is that even though the head has mostly imploded, the jaws are still bitten down on your shoulder.
So the force will tear them out of my shoulder?
That's correct.
Okay, how much more am I taking?
Why don't you roll me a d4?
Okay. It's cool, guys. I didn't need both arms. The doctor doesn't use them anyway, so, I mean, whatever.
I mean, we could have just left him gnawing on your shoulder.
That's true. I take 1.
Okay, you take another point of damage. As this ghoul is obliterated in front of you, there is a far deeper howl that comes from that further back tunnel that the doctor was close to. And it almost reminds you of Darby. It's that sort of like blood-curdling, bone-vibrating call.
I will crack my shotgun, reload it as I walk towards the thing. I have to cover the doctor, obviously.
Sure.
I'll be pulling out my knife.
Okay.
If Jack is covering the doctor, I guess I'll take point. I'll keep aside to the wall.
Fair enough.
Doc is doing some quick first aid on himself to try to staunch the mighty blood flow coming out of his shoulder.
For sure.
So that is 62 under 64. Not the cleanest.
No, you're desperate to get bandages on that. You're desperate to get something.
Dumping iodine all over it.
You're most worried about infection.
Yeah, mercurochrome all over it.
That's
fantastic. That's better than a cup of joe.
So, Sam, you take point and move forward. The area beyond this tunnel seems to lighten up a little bit. There's a blue haze that starts at the floor level and starts moving up towards your knees. It's almost as if there's a ambient or phosphorescent glow to this space.
Can I get a pharmacy roll on identifying what that chemical is in the mist there?
Sure. You probably have some idea of what it might be.
I have an idea. That is 65 under 68.
What do you think it is, Doctor?
I want to say that is possibly methane gases from deep in the sewer. I look at Jack. We cannot use the dynamite or the guns. Not from this point on.
Oh, okay.
You start smelling gas in the air. Sam, as you get deeper in, this tunnel widens again, and you see that there is almost this fissure of blue that comes out of the ground somewhere. It's almost like a curtain that springs up from the ground, and it seems to sort of separate the area here. And beyond that blue haze, there is another form, same mottled green and somewhat gray, hairy form, and it is consuming flesh. Handfuls of it.
Is the flesh boneless and sticky?
No.
Okay.
You're not certain that. Oh, yeah, that looks like a skull that looks young.
I just nod to Jack. That is a child.
The beast turns.
Would you be Henry?
We should fall back.
You get a growl in response.
We should fall back, Jack.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you two are going to fall back.
I definitely want to draw it away from this death gas.
They begin backing up, Mr. Shane.
I'll back up.
Okay. This creature comes forward, lumbering a little bit, almost as if it might be a little full. There's something, Doctor, there's something beyond that haze. You don't want to look back there. You already know that you don't want to be anywhere that's back there.
But I can't do that.
Nope.
I can't just look away like that.
No, that's not in your nature.
Nope. I've got to press forward and see what that is.
No.
I mean, not press forward, but I have to see what it is.
At some point you will. You know you will. It comes onward and it begins to pick up speed.
Are we out of the... Let us know we're out of the gas.
Yeah, you guys back up far enough to where you begin stepping over the bodies of dead ghouls. And then okay, we're back here now. We should be okay.
All right, I'm going to light my Zippo and then toss it in the tunnel.
Okay. Burn off the methane.
Yeah, well, hopefully it'll do some damage to the ghouls.
Okay.
Too.
Give me a throw roll.
26 with my throw. That is not good enough.
You pitch your Zippo, and you throw it down, and you get it close, but you don't see any. There was supposed to be an earth-shattering kaboom. Nothing happens. The beast walks right over the flame. It dances around a little bit because it doesn't know what it is, but it comes onward.
Get a flare.
Yeah, I get a flare gun.
Whose turn is it?
I mean, we're not in rounds, so you can act as accordingly. It hasn't arrived yet, so there's no rounds just yet.
Yell, freeze.
Okay. Spend the magic point. And now engage in POW versus POW challenges.
81 out of 83.
If you want to succeed, you'd either have to push that roll or you'd have to spend luck.
I will spend 4 luck.
I mean, if you're looking to succeed, the beast has a 42 under 65. So he's got you by several points. I mean, it's just a mythos spell, right? What harm could come from pushing it, right? I mean, after all, you're favored.
I am. So, yeah, basically I'm going to get real angry and yell real loud.
Okay.
And blow up. 66 out of... 83.
Okay. Yep. You don't say freeze. You back up and you use the voice of the father, and you say something that is a word that harmonically hums in the room, and the beast crawls to a slow movement. It hasn't stopped totally. You're fairly certain just by its reaction that it's definitely locked onto what it would like to eat next. It's clear that the beast is coming for you.
Okay.
Jack, from your vantage point after this, it almost seems like it moves into some sort of stalking mode. Like it begins to look almost like a cat stalking its prey. It seems to ignore you and ignore Sam.
Good.
So it enters this previous area where you'd had the altercations with the first 3 ghouls, and it's trying to hunt Miss O'Shea.
Okay, well, I am going to prepare to gun it down.
Okay, Lillian, what against this larger and like far more hideous ghoul? What would you be doing?
How close am I to that ghoul?
Oh, you're probably a good 10 to 15 yards at this point. You've had to back up quite a bit to get away from the poisonous gas.
But I still have a clean shot.
Yeah, well, I mean, clean is relative. It's dark. You can see it because Jack has his light on it, but you would not be penalized for firing a melee if you shot at it.
So I brought my flare gun too.
Okay.
I'd like to take as many steps as I can take before I shoot it. Like, I want to do both actions in this turn. So I don't know how many steps I'm allowed to take.
For clarity's sake, if you want to use the flare gun in such a way, you'll have to change hands as far as the shotgun goes to get to the flare gun.
So if I fire the flare, it's gonna be a handgun.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no. Let's just do the shotgun.
Okay. Very good.
So I still take several steps forward, and I aim to try to hit it center mass.
Sure.
I get a 71 out of 65.
Okay, you fire. You miss. Wildly. Sam?
This thing just strolled right by Jack and I.
Oh, yeah. It seems completely locked on Miss O'Shea.
Miss O'Shea, you should probably run. And I will, I guess, wheel and tap this thing in the back of what I think is its head.
Sure.
I will fire. 64 under 70, 66 under 70.
So go ahead, roll damage for me.
So +4, that's 11.
Okay. You fire. When you fire into this thing's pelt, you can see the round fall on the ground.
Oh, that doesn't bode well, Jack. I back way up. Like if it's well, basically it's going away from me anyway, so I'm going to give it some more space. while my eyes get really, really big. And I'm going to move, like, past it, moving away from me, if that makes sense. I'll move further into the space.
Okay. Jack, what are you doing?
I'm getting point blank, and I'm going to unload both barrels into it.
Go right ahead.
44 under 56. Okay. 46. Well, that's shitty. That's 8.
Okay. You fire. One hit or two hits?
That was one hit.
Okay.
I'm going to go with the second one.
Sure.
I'm paying very close attention to how this thing reacts to these shots, for sure. So I'm very concerned.
15.
Okay. You fire a couple of times at this creature, just trying to get it to put it down. It definitely reacts to the hits themselves. It's not like it didn't react at all to Sam's rifle either. But you can tell that whatever this thing is made out of, its plan is to keep moving. And the little tiny openings that the bullets have in its skin do not seem to be bleeding as much as you would hope. Like any regular man would be dead,
Right.
or dying, but this creature moves on. To that end, Miss O'Shea, it is going to leap at you. So it goes from stalking you to trying to tackle you. And with its move, it should be able to do that.
I really should have flamethrowers for this shit.
We already had shotguns, right? It's like,
Yeah.
okay, it leaps. And when it does, it leaps to the ground in front of you and doesn't connect with this swinging, violent, fetid claw. And then it follows it up with what is effectively a rake attack that comes directly up, as if it wants to essentially cut you and the robe shred them completely. And yet, it does not. But you can see it and smell it and feel its presence now. And this is definitely something different than Guillaume, that's for sure. Mm-hmm. This is the beast side that's come out to play. And it's your action.
All right. So, with my offhand, I am going to drink the liquid and use Mist Breath around it.
Okay.
And while it's blinded, I want to use my move since I hold the dagger backwards.
Sure.
And run alongside it and drag it across it.
Okay, so the Mist Breath potion is a spell, yes?
Well, it was prepared before.
Oh, fair enough.
I told you that I wanted to prepare it last game.
Yep. Okay, so
all I have to do is drink it and then exhale.
And exhale. So, okay, so you prepare your esophagus.
I don't care if I'm hurling while I'm running alongside it. I will.
No. That's the nicest part of your current situation is your voice is, and your voice is stronger than ever. So the rest of you see her down this bottle. She drinks something, and pretty much everybody except Sam has no bloody idea what's going on. You know exactly what this is, Sam, and you know how what the reaction likely will be. But you exhale a massive gout of mist and kind of a strange spiced cloud around the creature. And then your plan is to basically slash down and...
Yeah, like basically run past it so I'm not in front of him anymore, but as I run past him, drag the
blade.
Yeah.
Okay. Make an attack.
That is a 9 out of 47.
That's an extreme?
Yes.
So it's a bladed weapon, and on extremes it impales. It does maximum damage.
Well, it also has special.
It does. So
It has to.
It does.
So what's the damage?
So the damage is a D6 plus... Or wait, it's fully formed now, right?
Yeah.
D8. And then if you have a damage bonus, roll it as well. And then you need to make a power roll afterwards.
That is 3.
Okay. Now make a power roll.
And pow. Pow.
Contested power roll.
That's an 11 out of 83.
Okay, so
It's right here.
with that roll, you have the ability to take its force, like its actual life force. You can ingest it. You can draw it with the knife. You can allow the knife to feed. And so the question is do you want the knife to feed? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, so roll a d10.
10.
So you go to slash at this thing to kind of run along up its rib cage, and when you do, you hit bone when it digs in, and you come to a forcible stop because the knife clamps down on this thing, and you feel just this vibration run up your arm, and it runs into your back and kind of warms your back up, and you recover as many MP as you take.
Okay.
It howls in grievous and absolute pain.
Well, there's screaming and gunfire and blood everywhere, and
I haven't made a sound.
well, no.
And that's scary.
The Doc's going to take this opportunity to get further away from all of the shenanigans that are currently going on as he...
Okay.
Because I'm already wounded as hell, so...
Yeah, fair enough. All right, so top of the round, Lillian. You're not certain, given what the boys have shot at this thing. This thing hasn't slowed down at all, at least until it hit whatever Maeve did to it. There's now there's a big cloud everywhere now.
Does it look like... I mean, can I see the creature through the cloud?
Not right now, you can't.
But I heard it
It's
screaming.
30 seconds to a minute.
Which is a lifetime in combat.
I know.
But yes. You heard it howl. You heard something happen in there. You haven't heard Maeve call out.
Seeing as the guns didn't do anything to it. I see the doctor running out towards the entrance, right?
You see the doctor slip behind a portion of this growing
the
cloud now.
Knowing that he's severely injured, or fairly injured, I decide to follow him to make sure that he's getting wherever he needs to go safely. I figure the Jack, Sam, and Maeve can probably take care of them.
Yeah, running from the mythos is always an option. Always an option. Okay, so Sam?
Well, so how big is the cloud? I forgot.
10 by 10 by
16
15.
feet?
Yeah, it's pretty big.
Okay, so when I moved off, I'm like basically on the outside of it.
Yeah,
where,
pretty
like
much.
it goes off and it's just kind of poofed there. All right. So I can't see anybody that's in the cloud.
No, you cannot.
Have I felt him stop moving?
No, he's reacting.
Okay.
It feels like his body's trying to pull away from what you're doing, and you're not certain that the knife is going to let him do that.
So last I saw, it was going at Maeve, right?
Correct.
She popped, and then Lillian was down the hall a ways, and the doctor was backing off. Where's Jack?
If Jack is still in the same position he was, he should be basically to your immediate... He should be just across from you about 5 or 6 feet.
Okay. So I can see Jack.
Yeah. Yep. Jack's outside the cloud.
I will look at Jack and kind of shrug. Point the cloud. And I will reserve my action to see what Jack does.
So then it would come to you, Jack.
Well, I'm going to reload because I can't see a damn thing.
I think that's a viable option. You crack open the shotgun and place a couple of slugs in after dumping the spent shells out.
And then just, aim.
Yeah. Miss O'Shea, your combatant is going to try to pull himself away. In doing so, he is going to have to kind of maneuver or grapple his way out of it. And so that is a contested strength roll between the two of you.
Oh, that's not good. 58 out of 40.
Okay. Yeah, he pulls away. You can hear him almost yelp a bit, but he does get free of it. And after doing so, through the clouds at disadvantage will swipe at you. You would be at the same disadvantage, but you would be able to. You'd be able to fight back in an attempt to.
Okay, that's 22 out of 47 and and 57, so 57 out of 40.
Yeah, he rolled a 96, so neither one of you hit.
So we're both like...
Right. Understandably so, you're both sweeping around in this misty fog that's here. And that makes it your action now.
If I calm down and, like, listen and go with where the knife tells me I should go, I'm gonna swing at him.
Go ahead. Make me a fighting brawl roll.
No, that's an 89 out of 47.
Okay. Yeah, you swipe. You don't land on anything. Out of the cloud, this beast runs back towards the way it came.
Oh, back past us.
Yep.
Luckily, we're waiting for it.
You are. Would you care to do the honors, both Sam and Jack?
Would you like to go first, Sam?
I would love to open fire, yeah. That is a flare. I'm going to... Yeah, I think with the rifle lined up the way that it is, when I see this thing emerge, instead of taking a shot from my position, I'm going to move on it.
Okay.
And try to shoot it from the side without obstructing Jack's line of sight.
That's not a bad idea.
That's my push. Is it a push with advantage? Can I do that?
You can't. That's a failed push roll.
Yeah.
Roll damage. He's right across from you, Jack.
God damn it.
2d6. Ouch. So 12?
Take 12.
Fuck.
The Enfield goes off, and there's a sharp crack, and your chest explodes in pain.
Okay. I'm still alive.
Absolutely. You still get your rolls if that's what you want.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. Hopefully, I'm gonna shoot Sam because Sam is what's gonna happen.
I wince.
54 under 56. Ooh, barely. I roll both of them. Might as well. Oh, that second one I actually missed. 12.
Okay. You fire a couple of times, and that second shot lands a little bit, and the beast almost stumbles. You see, as it passes you, there is a fairly sizable cut along its side, and it's bleeding all the way down. It looks like something has... It looks like almost like its own claw gashed itself open.
Then I collapse against the wall.
Yeah. There's a bunch of rifle shots. It was a rifle shot and there's more gunfire.
Because I'm assuming she's out of the room.
Miss Lane has gone after the doctor.
Okay, I am running after it because I'm assuming shots means it's out of.
Mm-hmm.
So has it slowed down?
You're running out of the fog?
Yeah.
You run out of the fog. It's beginning to pick up pace. And if you are going to run after it, what you'll see is that Jack to your left is down, and he looks wounded. Sam is to your right, likely beginning to recover some of his balance and make his next move, whether that be to go to Jack or whether it be to go after this thing.
Then I will stop at Jack and look at Sam and tell him, shoot it.
Okay, you stop at Jack. He has a gunshot wound to his chest. All right, would you like to make a first aid roll?
Sure, I have the standard 30, but
yeah,
sure.
You never know. You could be good at it.
No, 82.
Okay, you try to help. The beast continues back to whence it came, and Lillian and Sigmund, the two of you aren't necessarily in rounds because you're not combatants. What are the two of you doing?
Do I see Jack get turned into a cup holder?
No, not with the cloud, unfortunately. No, okay. You do not see.
I yell at Doctor, stop.
That doesn't take much doing.
Right.
I've lost 6 hit points. So
yeah.
I run up to the doctor and is your shoulder wrapped in anything?
It's been done fairly hastily.
Yeah.
I sit down. Just let's sit down for a second. We don't want to run too far from everybody. I take my shawl that I had around my face, and I am going to roll first aid to wrap his
to
wrap his wound.
Look at that! Someone's attending to that. That's very nice.
So I get the right damn dice.
I hope no one got hit over the noggin.
That's true.
You did. I have a 63 out of 65.
Oh, wow. So, Doctor, you recover a hit point.
Do I?
Miss Lane has all the makings of perhaps a nurse in waiting. She's got the pressure right.
Not bad. Decently dressed. I will give you a few pointers, but well done.
Oh, well, thank you, Doctor. Can you stay right? Can you stay right here? I'm gonna go back to the group. Do not move.
All right, Sam. Walk me through what the action is.
How fast is this thing moving?
It's got a move of 8.
I'm gonna run to Jack.
Okay.
And I'm gonna say, I'm sorry.
No,
And I'm gonna steal his dynamite.
Kill it. Okay.
You're stealing his dynamite.
And I'm gonna run. And as soon as I have a line on this thing, I will fire.
The gun?
Yes.
Okay. Then fire.
With a hard success, 17 over 70.
Okay, make me a luck roll.
I saw this coming.
60 over 47.
Okay, you fire. Roll damage.
Max, 16.
Wow. You nail this thing in the back, and it falls forward. It's really the last vision you have of the space. When you fire, the Enfield bullet, as it passes out, that powder ignites something left in the air. And there is a blossom of red, blue, and orange that rolls out through the room. Doctor, you hear the change in air pressure.
Has Miss Lane just started to walk away?
Yes.
At this point, I throw myself over her because I can't get to Maeve at this point. She's in the cave. I can't get to Jack, but I can at least save Lillian.
There is a massive explosion that goes off. Give me a hard dex roll, Sam.
That is a 29 out of 75. That's a hard success.
Okay, so here's what happens. It goes off, and you see the flames actually ignite off of the round as it comes out.
Oh, shit.
Right. And you barrel roll like in reverse. You kind of jump away, and you land on the hard ground 5 or so feet away from where Miss O'Shea is with Jack. And there's just a rolling boom that goes off under the street level of Paris. The mist dissipates. We're out of round.
Oh, fantastic.
I hold up the dynamite.
It smells a little strange in here now.
Yeah.
Like ozone.
Yep.
And then I run back over to Jack.
Jack's probably not doing so great.
Did I mention how sorry I was?
Yes, yeah.
Doctor, the mist clears.
Wearily and painedly push myself off of Miss Lane. I'm sorry, Lillian.
Medic, I shot Jack!
Let's go. Run!
In the chest! He's dying!
As quickly as I can down to
gosh.
Jack.
I'm like just trying to hold my hand over.
And because I don't know what happened to that thing, I'm still reloading my shotgun.
You're very concerned, Miss O'Shea. This looks really bad. You see Jack. You finally get to him. He's up against a wall, and you see a hole in him, and it's near his sternum, and it's a gunshot wound.
My God, don't move, Jack. Don't move. I'll do it.
I saw it go down, but should probably go back to make sure it's dead.
I take the shotgun out of Jack's
That is a
hands.
40 under 41 for a hard medicine roll
Okay.
on Jack to try to stabilize him so he's not.
Jack will live, but he needs 2 things. He needs to leave this space because it's likely contaminated.
So horribly.
And 2, you must get the bullet out of him if it's still in him.
Okay. I look at Sam and Lillian. We need to get him to the hot. We need to get him.
Sam's
out
not even
now.
over here. He's looking for the thing, and I yell, "Sam, we need you to come help get Jack out of here."
Doctor, did it go through?
9. It is still inside you, Jack, and I must remove it.
Is it, or did it go through?
Get him out. We have to make sure that it's gone.
You lean forward, Jack, and you feel that there's dampness against the back of your shirt. but you're not certain that the bullet went through. Even with the torchlight, you don't see blood on the rocks or anything like that.
Sam, we need you to help get Jack out of here. Maeve and I can go see if that thing is dead. Jack needs your help. I can't carry him. Maeve can't carry him.
If that explosion didn't kill it, we're not gonna kill it.
I mean, I'm already moving.
I say we leave.
There's no more argument. Grab Jack, now. Sam, Lillian, no argument. Grab him now.
I'm not arguing.
You lead the way and light us. Take the torch. Do it now. He grabs the other torch.
I get Jack's arm over my shoulder.
Wearily, and with some additional work, you remove yourselves from the fetid ghoul tunnels under Paris. None of you heard or saw any additional movement down that tunnel. There was no more ambient gas pressing out. You're very concerned about the entire structural integrity after such a blast. And you're very thankful that dynamite was not used. But as you get your first fresh breaths from the streets of Paris, you can feel yourself getting a little winded, Jack. You're worried that you've lost a lot of blood.
Did I get to confirm whether or not I saw a body, or?
Yeah, so if you take the 3 or 4 steps, which likely you would,
yeah,
to get a view of it, it looks like a charred husk that's been left. It looks like whatever gases were down there must have ignited directly under it when you shot it.
Okay. Yeah, that's all I needed.
And so, Doctor, you taking him to a hospital or to a hotel?
I'm taking him to a hospital.
Okay.
I cannot do this at the hotel. That is far too grievous.
While we're in the alley, I relieve everyone of their shotguns. I apologize to Jack again, and I break everything down and pack it.
Oh, god damn it. I left my lighter down there. I need a cigarette.
Do you take him to the same hospital you took the lady with no face and eyes?
Well, they don't know about that.
No, but Lillian,
I
you do.
Is there another hospital that's closer?
You're not sure.
We don't want to just keep taking
don't have-
bloody people.
I got another one.
We don't have time to bicker, so
yeah,
we do.
we'll go to that hospital. We hail a cab or taxi.
You and the group who are willing to go take Jack to the hospital.
I'm not going.
I'm going.
That's fine.
I'll go with the doctor and Jack.
Sure. Sam, you're blending into the shadows with all the equipment.
I have to go smuggle all this stuff back into the hotel.
You're not smoking right now.
Why? I need something. Can I have a drink?
So I think on that rather explosive end, I think that is where we're going to call the show for tonight. So thank you so much for joining us for another episode of Masks of Nyarlathotep, brought to you by the Old Ways Podcast. If you would like to join us as a member of our Patreon, you can do that at the patreon.com/the Old Ways Podcast. We have a ton of really great and fun things happening for our patrons. Lots of new benefits, lots of different things that we do where you can come along and be part of the show in some regard. So we thank all of our Patreon supporters again. We thank all of our listeners in general, and have a wonderful evening.
Sorry, Jack.